Greatness is a common goal among many people. Some try and achieve it through school academically, and some try to achieve it through sports. Patrick, on the other hand, has a slightly different way of achieving it. Now presenting the Liars Club by Patrick McGinnis. Every morning before class began, some friends and I would meet in the gym to exchange reports about our latest adventures. Because we never had anything resembling an adventure, we started telling lies. This innocent pastime eventually developed into the Liars Club. Any member who lured other members into believing a lie while the club was in session, which is each weekday morning, got to be the president of the Liars Club. The presidency of the Liars Club remained empty for many months because any comment whatsoever made by a member during the meeting was instantly shot down with rude expressions of disbelief. A member could show up in a full-body cast and still not be believed. The other members would just laugh and say, "You expect us to believe that? No way!" Becoming the president of the Liars Club appeared all but impossible. I thought of various scenarios. I had to come up with a plan, and I did. One morning, I arrived in the gym just looking terribly sad. The Met Club members were grouped together on the bleachers, so I just heard them yell, "Watch it! McManus is up to something. Don't fall for that. It's a trick." Everyone was on guard, the common expressions of disbelief already forming on sneering lips. "Anyone heard how Bob's mom's doing?" I asked. The members knew Bob was a good friend of mine, a rather studious fellow whose hobby just happened to be tinkering explosives. No one messed with Bob. Give him a playful punch, both you and he might go up. Well, at least that was the myth me and Bob had carefully nurtured for him. The members' faces began to harden with suspicion. "What about Bob's mom?" "Is she gonna make it?" I said, as though what I was talking about must be common knowledge. Beginning liars should take note that the opening I am now using is commonly referred to among competitive liars as the McManus opening. Enter with a bunch of questions, the implication of which being that your opponents know something that you don't. A question isn't a lie, but it can serve much the same purpose. "Is she gonna make it?" "Make what?" "Live, of course." "Why wouldn't she live?" "You mean to tell me you don't know about the explosion? You can barely survive an explosion like that and be up baking cookies the next day, can't you?" Some of the faces turned solemn. A couple registered shock. "He's setting us up." He couldn't quite bring himself to believe someone would lie about something so horrible and tragic. Oh, I could feel the lie drawing him in. It was a big lie, a powerful lie. I'd known instinctively that a small lie wouldn't have done the job. "Didn't you notice Bob's house when the bus came by it this morning, Larry? Isn't it still smoldering?" The membership turned to look at Larry, the bus rider from whom I requested the confirmation from. What I counted on here is the fact that Larry had no reason to recognize Bob's house today, let alone any other day. "Gee, I don't know," Larry said. "I never even looked at his house." There were so many voices in the background. "I know McManus is lying." "He asked Larry, though. What if—" "I don't believe him." "Why would he ask Larry if he's not lying?" "Do you mean to tell me, Larry, that you didn't even notice Bob's house was gone?" I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Was Bob?" "Yes." I took out my handkerchief and wiped my eyes. The tears a product of my pent-up mirth, which had also strangled my voice into a painful croak. The effect on the Liars Club was just marvelous. "So far, I guess they've only found a few parts. Fingers here, toes there. Apparently he was holding the explosive when..." I was almost too overcome by emotion to continue. "His mom, the only survivor. Oh, even his dog Spike. Oh no, not Spike. Poor Spike, Bob loved that dog." Well, Spike was a masterful touch, a stroke of pure genius. Bob didn't even have a dog, let alone one named Spike, and the membership knew Bob didn't have a dog. The lie had not only taken them in, but it also reshaped their entire perception of reality. "I still think he's lying. Hey, look, there's Norm. We can ask him. Norm! Norm! Get over here!" Norm was another good friend of Bob's. Norm plodded across the gym floor. "Is it true what they said about Bob?" "Gee, Norm said, his voice quivering, his body scared. "He seems so unreal. I was just talking to him a few hours before the explosion." Norm's one of the finest actors I've ever known. He was probably up all night rehearsing his lines and acquiring the dark, puffy circles under his eyes. That's why I used him for the clincher. The tragedy now confirmed, a tidal wave of grief swept over the Liars Club. Eyes welled with tears, lips trembled. "Gee, I thought it was just another lie, but it's true. Poor Bob. Just a few fingers and toes, huh? Oh, or it's only yesterday I saw him walking into the gym on his way to class." At that moment, the victim of the explosion walked his way through the gym on his way to class. Bob seemed slightly puzzled and somewhat concerned by the intensity of stares directed at him. Well, partially because I hadn't told him he was the main role in my big lie. The great roar of outrage exploded from the Liars Club when they saw him. Thinking he was about to be set upon by a mob of angry liars, Bob fled the gym, his homework pages still fluttering in the wind behind him. I must say, the other liars did not respond kindly to my lie and sudden presidency. They were so enraged, in fact, that they disbanded the club on the spot. After all my effort, I only got to be presidency of the Liars Club for a couple of minutes. But it was worth it.